This is the Kansas Speedway. This is where they come when they want to ban rubber, like competition, driving competition. I'll go around it. Very surprising is because very close to it they have a children hospital, children mercy park. Well, this might not be a hospital, by the way. This is just a park, children park, but it's been built by the Children Mercy Hospital. And there is a Hollywood casino right there by it. Also, this is just an entertainment joint where you can bring your kids just for fun. And what else do they have on this side? Just in traffic, trying to get onto the highway. Interstate 435 to 70. South to 70. Says West 70 west to Topeka, Kansas. Topeka is the capital city of the state of Kansas. And we're going to be taking 435 south. We got some traffic merging from, they're coming to this is eastbound, so they're coming from, we didn't take west to go to Topeka. So this traffic that is merging is coming from west going to the east, so they're coming from Topeka. They might, necessarily coming from Topeka, but that is Topeka bound, which is westbound. If I had a speed gun, it would be so easy to stop here and tell and scan almost all these vehicles, and you can tell how fast they are driving. Some of them will be speeding, like breaking the law and speeding, and there will be a police officer seated somewhere, like I'm sitting on the side of the road, and just scanning them. And they decide on which vehicle to go for, because all these vehicles will be speeding. All of them, most of them will be speeding. So they can sit here and scan and say, today I'm going to, I've never been a police officer, so I don't know. I'm just trying to think how they decide what car to start, because all these vehicles, most of them, the posted speed limit on this highway, this is Interstate 435. It is 70 miles an hour. 70 miles an hour is roughly 120. If you multiply 1 kilometer is 1.6. 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. Put it that way. So 70 miles an hour posted speed limit. And these vehicles, most of them will be doing 90, 80, 85. So police officer will stop on the side of the road and they are going to write tickets. They will just pull up, pull over one vehicle and follow up with them and stop them. And they can write as many tickets as they wish. So they just write your ticket, they give it to you. You can go to court, or you can pay fine and accept guilt. And then that, if you accept guilt, or you can hire an attorney, just to go to court on your behalf and say, argue that you were never speeding. Of course, it's gonna cost you some money. So the worst of it is if you're caught up driving, being drunk, like drunk driving on these highways with these vehicles driving this fast, and then you go drink and think that you're going to get on the highway and drive. It's going to be trouble over trouble over. You will never succeed. Once they catch up with you driving drunk, that's the end of your life. You're going to be tossed from one court to the other, getting house arrested, being confined into the house. You cannot even have a job. They are going to withdraw your driver's license. No insurance company would be wanting to insure you because you are a risk. You are a risk. So a lot of young men and women from where I come from and other third world countries, they will come into this country, and once you get a driver's license, you pull up into the highway, you just merge into the highway and drive as fast as you can. And once they catch up with you and you're drunk, that is going to be the end of you. That's going to be the end of you. That's going to be the end of you. So I'm just scanning this traffic. I don't even have a speed gun, so I'm not going to assume that I know how fast they are driving. But I can tell you, because I'm sitting on the side of the road, all these vehicles, most of them will be speeding. If there was a police officer trying to scan them and stop, they can't stop 2 cars at a time. They only stop one. But you can tell all of them are driving at an average speed. So most of them will be speeding. So if they were going to stop every speeding vehicle, then that would mean that they will have to block the highway. And that is not the condition. That's not the situation. They will stop only one vehicle at a time. And then if they have any reason to suspect any suspicion, if you have a blood speech, if you cannot answer questions from a police law enforcement officer, police officer correctly, and you give them a reason to think or even believe that you're intoxicated, at that point they are going to escalate it. They might tell you to get out of the car and do what they call a straight line walking. Like they ask you to drive your vehicle. No, not to drive your vehicle. I beg your pardon. They will draw a straight line on the floor and ask you to put your leg, one leg after the other, in front of the other. One leg in front of the other. And that is something that I figure a drunk person will not be able to do. So they say if you cannot put your, your one leg in front of the other, that means you cannot, you're not going to be able to control the vehicle you attempt to be driving on the highway. So what they are going to do is stop you, arrest you, and then call a tow truck, tow your vehicle, and they are going to process you. They are going to, I don't know what they do with your car. Of course, they will have to take you to court. If you cannot pay your fine and they verify that is your car, they could even sell it and pay the court dues. Because you are already breaking the law. You're already breaking the law. So I advocate, only drive if you are sober. Don't drive these vehicles. And it's not actually for other people's safety. It is actually for your own safety. So I'm gonna scan some more, see how fast these trucks will be driving. UPS. And that is how fast they go. You can see some vehicles merging from the street, so they are now joining the interstate. Comes a big semi truck right there. actually thought of counting these vehicles and see, just to see how many vehicles I would count. The piece of the highway that I'm stopped at is a 3-lane highway. So I don't know if I'm going to capture that. 3-lane. Most of the highways are 3-lane. Yeah, 3-lane. 3-lane highway. And you can tell the rate at which these vehicles, you will never spend a minute. Like you will not have like 100 meters between any vehicles. Vehicles are moving all the time. These are too many vehicles. In that, even if I was to count them, there's no way possible. You would lose count so many times. Repeat counting again and again and again, and you will never get it right. You will never get it right. So I will not even pretend that I can count. I guess I've counted at least 100,000 vehicles. I am not very sure, but on these 3 lanes highway, the other side is 3 lanes, and a second is never going by before you see like 3 vehicles. These are so many vehicles. I didn't count, you know. Like I said, I was never going to try to count them, because I was going to fail terribly, and I was not going to challenge myself in that kind of way, in any way. I was not. So I believe what I have shown for now, at least for now, if anybody trying to think that they can, they can drink and drive on these highways, I wanted to prove it's very wrong, and you can't even win. You cannot win. You can't win unless you're trying to get yourself killed. You're trying to commit a suicide, and that's why law enforcement, the police, when they see you trying to do that, because you can also hurt and injure other people, other motorists, they are trying to protect every single human being on these highways. So do not try to get on this highway, drink and drive. Don't try to drink and drive. You can never win. So guys, I know it is not just in America, in any other, in any other highway, especially with this kind of traffic. I tell you again, do not drink and drive. Why? Because you can never win. And I can just in case you never heard what I said, please do not drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. The reason is you cannot win. You're going to end up dead. You're going to end up hurting somebody else, and we all want to go back home. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to drop it here as of now, and I just wanted to show you how traffic on American highways, how it is. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.